hello, everybody, and welcome to the Alumni House. This is it. We have the College World Series finale, or the final series set. We are in the CWS Finals starting Saturday night, June 20th at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Um, what a finals it is. I don't think anybody could have predicted this setup. Maybe maybe North Carolina, probably Oklahoma. But wow, what a road we had to get there. We'll start off with bracket one, which was the bracket that North Carolina came out of. The first game of the brackets was 16 seed West Virginia taking on Sunbelt opponent Troy. Of course, Troy won the Gainesville Regional and then hosted their first ever Super Regional against Little Rock to get to Omaha for their first trip. Let's see. Troy took on West Virginia. West Virginia won the game 7-5. In the second matchup of that day, 5 seed North Carolina took on Ole Miss. Of course, North Carolina, they came through. They hosted both their regionals, the regional and super regional. They beat USC in 3 games to get to Omaha. Ole Miss. Of course, they went through two road series to get to Omaha. Then, of course, they started out in Kansas in the Lawrence Regional, and then they went to Auburn to take on Auburn for the Supers. In this game, North Carolina won 6-2. It was a close game. Until the 7th inning, and Carolina was able to open it up and pull it out and win by 4. The first elimination game, you had Troy taking on Ole Miss. I figured this would be an Ole Miss win. You would have, Ole Miss taking on the loser of the North Carolina West Virginia game. Instead, Troy came out and absolutely smashed the ball around the park. Sent Ole Miss home 0-2 in barbecue. Troy 12-8 gets their first College World Series win. Win in Omaha there. In the second, let's see, this is June 14th. This is the second game of the day. West Virginia and North Carolina played. North Carolina would win the game late. They won it 5-2. So that would send West Virginia into the losers bracket to take on Troy. West Virginia won that game 12-0. That, of course, that was played on June 16th, which was Tuesday. And yesterday, North Carolina and West Virginia played, and North Carolina won the game 12-7. It was really kind of a blowout until I think it was the 8th inning. And an error was made by the shortstop for, I think it was the shortstop. It may have been the third baseman in the shift. But regardless, it was in the shortstop position. The error was made in the throw to first. They took too long to get set to throw the ball. The batter was flying down the line and beat the throw by a couple steps. And that started a rally. They scored 5 runs in that inning, and then they added on another run in the 9th. But North Carolina was able to hold on, won the game 12-7. So that put them, as I said, they were in the catbird seat. No extra games. They didn't have to burn up any extra pitching. That sets them up for their first game starter to come out and start for them in the championship series. So North Carolina, they go through 3-0 in their bracket, and then on the other bracket here, which is bracket 2, we had in the first game you had Alabama and Oklahoma. Of course, Alabama, they hosted their regional and super regional. They kind of cruised through those. Oklahoma had to go to Atlanta to take on the Georgia Tech in the regionals, and I don't remember who they went through to get to the to Omaha. Like who did they beat to get to Omaha? Let's see if I can find that real quick. Let's see. Alabama, they swept St. John's, and I said Ole Miss went through the Lawrence regional. They did not. They went through the they went through Nebraska, the Lincoln regional, to get to the Auburn regional, a super regional where they swept Auburn. Kansas won their regional. They hosted Oklahoma, and Oklahoma swept them to get to Omaha. So in that first game, Oklahoma won 9-0. There was never really any fight in that game. Game 2, you had Georgia and Texas. Of course, Georgia, they were the 3 seed. They won their regional in a quick sweep. Super regionals, they played Mississippi State. They swept them, but it was 2 fantastic games. Austin, Texas, they played. They swept through their regional, and they swept their super regional against Oregon to advance to the College World Series. Georgia would win that game 7-1. So that would put Alabama and Texas in the elimination bracket, the losers bracket there. So that was they played June 13th, which was that Sunday. Was that Sunday? No, that was Saturday. That was Saturday. And then on the 15th, you had Texas and Alabama playing in the elimination bracket game. Texas would win that game 14-2. Alabama never really was in that game. It was pretty much all Texas all the time. In the second game of that day, you had the winners bracket game, Oklahoma and Georgia. Oklahoma won the game 4-3. Oklahoma started a freshman pitcher who was absolutely phenomenal during that game. Just kept the Georgia batters off the entire game. The June 16th. So this is again, this was Tuesday. Tuesday was losers bracket day. Georgia beat Texas again. This time it was only 2-0. So that's it. Texas home. Texas went 1-2 in the College World Series. Alabama, of course, they were 0-2 in barbecue as well. So that set up a rematch of Oklahoma and Georgia for the either the right to play another game in the case of Georgia, or for Oklahoma a trip to the championship series to try to make up for the 2022 trip where they got swept by Ole Miss. Oklahoma, they poured it on Georgia in this one. They won 11-4. they played gorilla ball in this game. They just kept hitting home run after home run after home run. I think they hit five home runs in the game. Had two players that hit 2 home runs each. One of the cool things with this matchup, Oklahoma and Georgia, was you had brothers playing against each other. The Branch brothers, one plays for Georgia, one plays for Oklahoma. They both play middle infield. And the one from Georgia, he hit a home run in his final at bat as a Georgia Bulldog. And the video's out there. You can look it up. It shows the brother on the field, playing for Oklahoma. He's smiling real big. He watches the ball go, over the fence for a home run. They give each other 5 as he's running by. Really cool moment for them. The parents are in the bleachers with split jerseys and stuff like that, and a very, very cool moment for them. Of course, it ends his career at Georgia. I'm sure he'll have a chance to go on, at least play some minor league ball. I don't know if the guy's good enough to play professionally. We'll see. Like major league level. I guess time will tell there. And the only reason I just haven't watched enough, but they were saying that they thought he would continue playing at least in the minors and stuff for a few years. So that was a cool moment for them. But Oklahoma wins. They go 3-0. So this sets up North Carolina and Oklahoma in the championship series. North Carolina has been to the championship series twice. They lost twice, 06 and 07. I think they lost to Oregon State both times. I think that's the 2 times Oregon State won it when they won it back to back. I think Oregon State's won it 3 times. North Carolina has been to Omaha 13 times. Never walked away with the trophy. They've been runner-up twice. Oklahoma has won it twice, but the last time, I think it was it was in the 50s, and I think 94 was the last time they had won it. And of course, like I said, they were in the championship series now 4 years ago when Ole Miss won it. So interesting matchup here. You got ACC against the SEC, and this is the 2 dynamic conferences for college baseball. But shockingly, I did not realize this until last night, or till yesterday, that the ACC has only won 2 national championships in baseball. I would have figured more. I know Miami's won them. I guess those are counted as Big East national championships. Let's see if I can find. I want to say Georgia Tech has maybe won one. Let's see who in the ACC has won a national championship in baseball. Okay, so Virginia in 2015 and Wake Forest in 1955. And the AI has Miami listed before, but all 4 of those were when they were still part of the Big East. So the ACC itself only has 2 national championship programs, or 2 national championships. Let's see. Something on here says no, that's everything. That's not There was something that had a list of national championships, but it was not just just baseball. It was all conference championships. So or all national championships throughout all their sports. So as much of a powerhouse as the ACC is in baseball, they've not been able to really finish the deal. Of course, Virginia, they beat Vanderbilt in the national championship series in 2015. I think that was maybe the year after, or it was either year after or year before Vandy won their first national championship. And then, of course, Wake Forest in the 50s. So it's almost hard to count that when it's that far back. Yeah, 2014 was Vandy's first national championship. So that stopped Vandy from repeating its championship. Vandy's won 2 national championships in baseball, 2014 and 2019. So I think it'd be really cool to see North Carolina finally get that off their chest, as it were, finally lock in a championship there. Of course, we all they're done it in basketball a ton. I don't know if they ever won to win the football. I don't think they ever won on football, but baseball. They're definitely a baseball school now, like basketball, baseball type school. I think they'll always be like basketball first, but baseball is right there with it now. And it would be nice to see them nail down a national championship there. Oklahoma, they're a program that has really kind of burst on the scene the last few years. They've kind of been irrelevant in baseball for a while. Of course, in softball, they're very dominant. They have won. They won like 3 or 4 like championships in a row in softball, but now you've had Texas win the last 2 in softball. But as far as on the baseball diamond, it's been since '94 since Oklahoma has finished the fight here. So I think this is going to be a good series. I would not be surprised if this one went all 3 games. The first game is set for Saturday at, like I said, 7 p.m. Game 2 is Sunday at 2:30, 1:30 Central Time, and then Game 3, if necessary, is on Monday, and that will be 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central. That's going to be a hot ticket to have in Omaha this weekend. I expect to be a full house. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and you're going to have a good split of red and blue in the stands there. Be very very patriotic, very American looking, which is it's perfect for especially for this year for the 250th. You have a team wearing red and a team wearing blue fighting it out for the national championship in America's pastime. So I can't wait to watch this series. I've said it repeatedly. I am sad the season is coming to a close here. It's here. We've got 3 more games, maybe. At least 2, maybe 3 more, and that's it. And until February. Of course, we'll have some fall ball. Of course, I kind of follow fall ball just a little bit with Southern Miss, but it'll be it'll be a long few months for us baseball fans until the season starts up again. But man, of course we have college football creeping right around the corner again. So there's still plenty to keep us entertained. But if you're a fan of the Diamond Sports like I am, that this part of the season sucks because it's fun to see the teams win it, and to finally have that trophy lifted high after everything they put in, everything they worked for during the season. But at the same time, it's a bummer because the season's over and the teams won't be the same. We do have some hiring news in college baseball. I should have done this to begin with, but I forgot. Chris Lemonis, who was the head coach at Mississippi State when they won the championship in 21, has been hired at Coastal Carolina to replace their head man who went to South Carolina. And I'm drawing a blank on his name. I am so sorry. And then Travis Creel has been hired away from Southern Miss, which it's a big deal for Creel because he's a Southern Miss guy. He played there. He played 5 seasons at Southern Miss, and then he has coached the last 7 years at Southern Miss. He has been hired away to Jacksonville State to be their next head man, and he is filling up his staff with former Southern Miss guys. I saw where he's hired Danny Lynch, who will forever be a Southern Miss legend, if nothing else for his final home game against Louisiana Lafayette, where he hit 2 grand slams. This was in 22 in Scott Berry's final season. I mean, it was me and a buddy were at that game, and I hit 2 grand slams to the same spot in the park, and I think we both lost our voices that day, just going absolutely bonkers in that game. It was wild. I said it was losing at Lafayette. I don't think it. Yeah, that was 23. That was because Scott was there for our first season in the Sun Belt. So that makes more sense. Congratulations to Travis for getting that shot at being a head coach. Congratulations to Chris Lemonis for getting back into the game. I know that year out was probably had him itching to get back in. He's going to a good spot there in Coastal. He'll have them bounce back in no time. It would be interesting to see what Travis does with his first gig as a head coach. I'm happy for Danny to come in and I think he's taking over the hitting position there. I know Southern Miss is now looking for a hitting coach. They have several candidates, of course, they're looking at, and they'll make a decision coming up, I'm sure, any day now. But the coaching carousel, it turns and it turns fast until it doesn't. The head coaching moves and stuff that come, sometimes they come pretty quick, and then all of a sudden you're looking around going, I hadn't heard any kind of news at all, and all of a sudden it'll spit out again with a bunch of stuff. Of course, you're still seeing transfer portal news and stuff. I'm sure that's kind of, you'll have another little wave after the series is over, and then I think it goes, the transfer portal window wins sometime in July. It's longer than football's, or at least it was, and you've got of course summer leagues going on. Team USA, you have players throughout the country who are playing on team. I know Southern Miss has got three pitchers. Their 3 starting pitchers are all on Team USA for the however long that goes through the summer. Ben McDonald saying that's not a long commitment for players So, but congratulations to those guys for that, and all those guys who were representing our country on the baseball field there for this year. Very very cool for them to have that on their chest while they're playing the game they love. Let's see. I think that's about it. It's a relatively short episode. I don't know if we'll be back before the championship is over. I may get Matt to hop on for a little bit Saturday. We'll see. But if not, guys, whenever the championship is over, whoever is holding the crown at the end will hop on, or I'll hop on and give a recap, and that'll be it for sports that we cover until football starts up again. We'll have stuff going on. Keep some content coming for you guys and stuff. But until then, guys, it's it's been a fun ride again this year. This stuff, it goes by so quick. You don't realize how quick until you're looking up going, holy smokes, this, like, it feels like I just started talking about this stuff and it's already over. So enjoy the next couple games, 2 or 3 games, whatever we get, and we will talk to you next time.